Okay, now that you're done with your three-column chart, let's take a look at it. Those decisions that your parents or guardians make for you, maybe they decide your diet by deciding what they're going to buy from the grocery store. Maybe they decide other things like what school you're going to go to or where you're going to live. That's probably up to your parents or guardians. That is like the national government making decisions for the states. There are some decisions you probably make yourselves. You might decide what clothes you want to wear. You might decide what time you go to bed. You might decide when you are going to hang out with your friends. The decisions you make cooperatively, those are kind of like the states working with the national government to make decisions together. Okay, maybe you said that you and your parents negotiate when your curfew is going to be, or you and your parents maybe decide together what you're going to do after school. Are you going to get a job? Are you going to join some school club? What are you going to do? Okay, so just like how you and your parents have to work together sometimes, states and national governments have to work together sometimes as well. Okay, so there are three different levels in the government, three different types of federalism. The national powers are called the enumerated powers. The things that the national government can do are called enumerated. The things that the state can do by themselves are called the reserved powers. They're saved for the states, just like how a table at a restaurant might be reserved for somebody calls them ahead. Lastly, the shared powers are called the concurrent powers. That means they happen at the same time. The state can do it, but the national government can do it as well. Okay, we're going to take a look at these items here, A through U, and decide whether or not they're enumerated, reserved, or concurrent. What I want you to do as we go along is to write an E for enumerated, remember that's the national government, R for reserved, which is the state government, or C for concurrent, which means both of them can do it. All right, letter A. Who can declare and engage in war? Well, that's going to be an enumerated power. If each state could decide whether they want to go to war, that would be trouble. So that's enumerated. Who conducts elections? It's actually the state government who is in charge of how the elections happen. Who can vote? Can prisoners and felons vote? They decide a few things. There are some national laws, but the states decide how they're run. Who can print and coin money? Letter C, that's going to be enumerated as well. There's only one type of money in America, and that is the national government who controls it. It's enumerated. Govern marriage laws. This is also going to be up to the states. Similar to elections, there are some national laws that people have to follow, but states can decide who and when people can get married. For example, did you know that you can get married in Missouri when you're 16 years old if you have your parents' permission? Sounds pretty young to me, but that is what Missouri says. All right. Who can maintain an Army, Navy, and Air Force? That's going to be the enumerated powers. Who can regulate interstate? Inter means between, and if it goes between states, then the national government is going to do it. So that's going to be enumerated, E for enumerated again. If it's intrastate, like what I talked about earlier, maybe an apple orchard, a pumpkin picking patch, if it's just in one state, that's going to be a reserved power. Whoops, about that, getting ahead of myself there. The next one, punish lawbreakers, that's concurrent. Both of them can do it. Both can collect taxes, letter I, that's also concurrent. Both of them can protect the rights of citizens. You got to stand up and protect people. That is concurrent as well. Now, setting traffic standards is mostly reserved, but on the highways, it's concurrent because highways go between states. Really, anytime something goes between states, the national government is going to control it. But if it's just in your city, that's going to be MoDOT, the Missouri Department of Transportation, so that's a reserved power. The national government's also in charge of admitting new states, enumerated. They provide for the public safety and help protect us. Who do you think does that? That's both. The police do it at the local level, the FBI and the CIA and the Army do it on the national level, so that's concurrent. Both can borrow money, so letter N is C for concurrent. Who can run the schools? Okay, this is similar to the elections and the marriage rights. The Department of Education for Missouri is who is calling the shots and saying that you have to pass a government test in order to graduate high school. Okay, that's a reserved power with some laws from the national government. National government negotiates treaties with foreign countries. Both of them protect public health, so public health is C. Determine the qualifications of voters. Okay, this is really going to be kind of reserved as well. Okay, who can vote and where are they going to do it? Okay, again, there are some national laws, like the law that says you can't stop somebody from voting because of their gender, or you can't stop somebody from voting based on their race, but it's mostly run by the states. It's reserved. The national government sets up the post office. Remember, that's another case of going between states. They set up the rules for immigration as well, so that's going to be the national government and enumerated. Finally, last one, who maintains the state militia? Even though it's called the National Guard, each state has one. The governor's in charge of that, which means it's a reserve power run by the states. All right, I got a breakdown of the most important powers here. Please pause the video, take a look at this Venn diagram, and jot it down on your notes. Each one's important. If you have questions about what these ones mean, ask me, please ask me. But I'm just going to let you copy this down for now because we talked about it a lot on the last slide. All right, last couple of things here, and then we are done with these videos. Okay, federalism has changed. Like I said, in the beginning, it was mostly run by the states, and each type of government had its own specific powers. Political scientists refer to it as a layer cake, which you see on the right here. It's the one with 3 tiers, where you had the national government on top, you have the state government in the middle, and then you had some concurrent powers underneath that. Nowadays, we have what's called cooperative federalism, which is there is a lot more shared powers. And political scientists, especially those people who are hungry, refer to it as a marble cake. Personally, this is my favorite kind of cake. This is where when you take a bite, you get a little bit of chocolate, you get a little bit of vanilla, you get all the flavors. It's hard to tell where one stops and another starts. So today we have marble cake, we have cooperative federalism, where there are more shared powers. Okay. Now, the Constitution has changed because a few things have happened. Overall, the Constitution is pretty vague. Okay. They also give the government implied powers in Article 1, Section 8. This is called the Necessary and Proper Clause, or the Elastic Clause, because it stretches out the government's power. It's called elastic because it stretches, like that material in your socks or your waistband or whatever. The Commerce Clause also gives more power to Congress over interstate businesses, and really almost all businesses these days go between states. Therefore, almost all businesses are controlled by Congress. There's another thing that says that the national government is supreme, so the national government continues to grow and continues to take over things that the state governments used to do. All right, one more time, the Commerce Clause gives Congress the power to regulate interstate trade. They do that because if each state had different rules about how to do business, it'd be very ineffective for business. Okay, last slide, review time. What is federalism? I'm not going to tell you the answer. If you need to, go back and check the top of your notes. And what are the 3 different categories of powers? I'll go ahead and tell you that one. That's enumerated, concurrent, and reserved. Those are hard ones. All right, thank you so much for watching the videos. I hope you have a great day. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Congrats on finishing with the videos, and good luck on your tests.